Hey, listen, facing difficult conversations, that's just part of the job, man. Whether it's addressing underperformance, resolving team disputes, or handling customer complaints, how you manage these talks can make or break the dealership's success. And here's the challenge. Most managers, they avoid conflict, hoping issues will just resolve themselves. Some confront way too aggressively, damaging those relationships and the morale. And then just others, they just feel unprepared, lacking the confidence to navigate those tough discussions. Does any of that sound familiar to you guys? All right, you're not alone. Effective conflict resolution, man, it's a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned and mastered. In today's session, we'll explore structured frameworks for managing those difficult conversations, how to engage in some role play scenarios to practice these techniques, and I'm going to equip you with the confidence to handle conflicts professionally and constructively. By the end of all that, you'll be ready to turn those challenging conversations into opportunities for growth and improvement. Remember, we're looking for 800% growth here. Hey, but before we jump into practice, let's understand the frameworks that guide effective conflict resolution. All right, we're going to get technical here, a lot of details, but just stay with me. Two notable models. The first one is the Harvard Negotiation Project. Okay, this thing was established in 1979, and the project focused on principled negotiation. It emphasized separating people from the problem, focusing on interests and not positions, generating options for mutual gain, and using objective criteria. Whew. All right, so look, this approach, it encourages collaborative solutions that satisfy all parties involved. All right, the second one, we go a little bit more technical here, the Thomas Kilmann Conflict Mode Instrument. This model, it identifies 5 conflict handling styles. First one's competing, where you're assertive and uncooperative. The second one, it's collaborating, where you're assertive but cooperative. Third one is compromising, where there's some intermediate like assertiveness and cooperativeness. The fourth one is avoiding, where you're unassertive and you're uncooperative. And the fifth one is the accommodating one, okay, where you're unassertive but you're cooperative. Understanding these styles, it helps you adapt your approach based on the situation and desired outcome. Does that make sense? Here's the key takeaway. There's no one-size-fits-all method, okay? Effective conflict resolution, it requires flexibility and the ability to apply the appropriate strategy as your circumstances dictate. All right, now let's put the theories into practice. We'll walk through 3 common dealership scenarios demonstrating how to apply these frameworks. Scenario 1 is addressing the underperformance, okay? We all unfortunately have to deal with this sometimes. The salesperson numbers have declined over the last 3 months. All right, the approach you can take on this one is to prepare by gathering performance data and specific examples. Okay, don't just wing this one. Initiate the conversation, like schedule a private meeting. Don't do this in public, make it a private meeting. Discuss it, use I statements to express concern, like I've noticed a decline in your sales figures. And then listen, allow the employee to share their perspective with you. Next step on it is to collaborate, develop a performance improvement plan together. Don't just dictate it, plan it together. Then follow up, set some regular check-ins to monitor the progress. Scenario 2 is resolving the team disputes. All right, 2 team members have a recurring conflict affecting the morale in the store. The approach we can take on this one is bring the parties together, okay, and facilitate a neutral meeting. And establish some ground rules, ensure there's respectful communication. No cussing, no yelling, no arguing, respectful communication here. Identify the issues, allowing each person to express their concerns without interruption, as long as it stays respectful, and then explore some solutions. Encourage some brainstorming of some mutually acceptable solutions with it. Next step to it is to agree on an action plan. Define some specific actions each will take to improve the situation. And lastly, monitor it. Follow up to ensure the conflict's actually being resolved. Third scenario is handling customer complaints, okay? Unfortunately, we all have to deal with this. The customer's unhappy, let's say, with the service department's work. So approach we're going to take on this one is to listen actively. We've talked about this before. Listen actively. Let the customer share their experience fully with you. And then empathize. Acknowledge their feelings. I understand you're frustrated. Offer an apology, offer sincere apology for any inconvenience. And then let's propose a solution to rectify the issue that works for all parties. And then lastly, like all the other ones, follow up, ensure the solution meets the customer satisfaction. All right, remember here, 800% tip. Role-playing these scenarios with your team can build confidence and improve your ability to handle real-life situations effectively. That was a whole lot that we talked about, a whole lot. But now it's your turn. In this week's challenge, identify a real or potential conflict with your team. Apply the frameworks we've discussed to plan your approach, and then have a direct but respectful conversation with the involved parties to address the issue and get this resolved. All right. Then I want you to share some of those experiences with me. Okay. What challenges did you face? How did the conversation go? And what did you learn? Listen, I want you to remember, confidence comes from practice. The more you engage in these conversations, the more adept you're going to become to navigating them successfully. Listen, if you found this video helpful, man, smash that like button for me, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more leadership insights. And as always, win the day.